Hi everybody and welcome to the Toronto home series. It is stage 2, day 2. Well, we got new teams, new weapons, new maps, and a new set. But we're live from the 6, myself and Study. Buddy, it's back. It's great to be back with you. We started off stage 1 with a nice little fist bump. Can we get another one? 3, 2,
I got you.
1.
Come on.
Let's do it.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, that was horrible. That was
Dude, yours was a lot faster.
Yeah, it was a little early.
Terrible.
I'll take the L on that one. I'll take the L on that one. But how great was that show from Boslin, by the way? I don't know about you, but I was having a good time.
Man.
That was good, man.
I was vibing. Shout out Boslin, man. Up and comer. I got to add him to the playlist. Just got a new car. Can't wait to see how that sounds.
I love that, man. We were jamming out and having a good time. But we've been dancing with Toronto Ultra. Let's go ahead and now meet the team, your home roster. Let's go ahead and meet the Toronto Ultra.
Try to get mad, everybody wanna keep up, don't you know I move too fast, I'ma zip right past, drip all on my swag, why you trying to size me up, you don't wanna try your luck, hot as a stove, what did you know, burn like coal, yeah you know I go, way too hot, yeah I really too cold, I'ma keep going till I hit my goals, better get back when I'm in my zone, do it for the ones that I know back home, did it myself, they ain't put me on, don't you call back if you hear that tone, another level.
And there's a look at your Toronto Ultra. Obviously a different looking team coming into stage 2. Definitely caught a lot of people off guard. Study what pre-show was talking about it constantly. Insight making his debut in for Methods. From a stats perspective, Methods was leading him in pretty much everything. How do you think this impact for this rookie Insight? How do you think he kind of changes up this team?
I think it's just like a chemistry question. With these guys, obviously they've been playing with each other for a really long time. They're all a part of the European region, so they know what this guy's able to bring to the table. Obviously, all 3 players that were from the original roster have to have the confidence in Insight. Definitely step up to that plate. You heard it. Methods #1 in every single category. That's going to be a pretty tough shoes to fill for Insight, but if you're him, man, you got to come in here and show the reason why you deserve to be in the position that you are. Just play your game, man. Don't try to be a superhero like Nameless said.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think Insight's looking pretty happy. I think he might have been jamming out to Boslin a little bit too. Who knows? But hey, like we said, excited to see what Toronto can bring us. And another team that's pretty hungry, considering all things. After the stage 1 major is our other team that happens to sit on the other side. Let's go ahead and meet Los Angeles Thieves.
Come with my gang, with my squad, what the fuck you want? So I got people just tuning in and I'm never strong. Sometimes I get so high, I never land. Ain't no need to overthink it, I already understand. They be plotting on my downfall and need another plan. But we welcome all that hating, I'm like, they can come again. Made a stack off the game and gave 100 to my man. I don't owe no money to him, I just did it cause I can,
There's a look at your LA Thieves, a solid team from top to bottom, but not as dramatic of a change by any means in regards to the roster, but instead a role change going down with the Thieves coming into stage 2. Study? We got Kenny now at the SMG, Temp now at the Flex. Talk to me, how do you feel about that move with the team?
Oh, I really like it, man. When you talk about Temp, even throughout his Black Ops 4 days, he was that flex player. He was able to use the MajorManiak and just be an MVP caliber kind of player. Now, when you're talking about the combination between Kenny and TJ as submachine guns, oh, this is going to be a show, man. We might have a different version of the Tiny Terrors just between the pace that these guys play at. So when I'm looking at this series right here, it's going to come down to the submachine guns. Vance and CleanX versus Kenny and TJ, especially in those hard points, man. They can perform and just keep up with the pace of LA Thieves. We should have a phenomenal series.
Yeah, speaking of the series, we're going to take a look at our maps and modes, including the vetoes as well. Awesome to see that information on the screen. We take a look through these maps, especially kind of that first one. Study, any thoughts when we talk about the veto process, these maps in general?
So when you're talking about these veto process, obviously we're going to start off with Garrison. LA Thieves, they're undefeated on this map, going to be 2-0. And you're going to go on forward and have back-to-back raids, then a checkmate into Miami. I understand why Toronto wants to go towards that Miami search if it does get to a Game 5. Last time they closed it out in a 6-1 fashion. But it's going to be about that control, man, that control. They played a lot of raid control. In this series, it's going to be, once again, that map. Hopefully they make the proper adjustments.
Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of the way that this one opens, or rather kind of starts off, right, in terms of the stats. I know obviously for both of these teams it looks good, but again, it is the debut for Insight. We cannot stress it enough, right? There was a lot of talk on whether or not this was the right move to make on social media. what, the Ultra franchise, Marky B, they were getting a lot of chatter on why Methods was not the guy to be released. So, like I said, don't want to be the superhero, does Insight, but he definitely wants to have a solid opening. And on a map like Garrison, he's got the opportunity to do so, and he's rocking out that Krig to start things off, Study.
Yeah, so it's looking like a basic standoff right off the rip. Vance is able to open up the first blood onto Slasher. 2 are going to drop. 3 go down now for LA Thieves. So now this is going to give some time for Toronto Ultra. If they can collapse on this one player on TJ, which Cammy does. You see that QBZ out and about for a couple of these players. Insight still using that Crimsix to his name. Tremendous shots onto Kenny and Slasher. Trying to go for the third onto Temp. Fortunately, he's going to have that player back down. But so far, out of the Ultra, 30 seconds into this P1 hard point, you're keeping them at bay, spawning them towards back P3, and you also have the spawns for P2. Great start off for Ultra.
Yeah, and a great start for Insight. What kind of starts off his career, a nice 3-0, able to get a little bit of time, at least, in regards to that opening HP for Ultra, and as you called it, they've also got that P2 hill locked down, and it really comes down to how do they want to try to engage this. The majority of the time, it's going to be that flank coming in from tanks, but it's Cammy who's able to hold the line now with that QBZ. That's something we have to talk about a lot for majority of these teams, as Cammy is lighting it up 6 in a row from the back tank position, and he is looking like an unmovable force. TJ is going to be able to shut him down, but Vance is there for the trade. That QBZ is coming in nice and early in regards to this match. And again, Study, a lot of talk on that weapon. Was it the right one to bring in comparison to the previous flexes? And it looks like so far for the Ultra, at least, that weapon's sitting pretty nice.
Yeah, it's definitely sitting nice if you ask Cammy himself. Unfortunately, right there, Vance ended up getting turned on by TJ. But it's a job well done at P2. You know, now it's all about just setting up all the rotation. 2 kills are going to go for LA Thieves. Now, if you're Toronto, unfortunately for Cammy, he does not work towards any streaks there. He was on a 6-3, but he was able to drop. But a 40-point lead. Now you have to try to break in towards P3. See the positioning out of Temp. Only reason why I don't like this, if he might drop, he's still going to spawn in the back now that the time is remaining. But your job is to try to get some kills there. Unfortunately, he's going to drop. So now the Thieves have to try to hold.
You see Toronto trying to slow up the pace, looking for a few picks. Slasher able to drop off of that 5 spree. A little bit of cohesive setup for Ultra, now kind of toward that top artillery side, but Slasher back off of the spawn, continues to take a few down. Kenny now new and fresh with the SMG, trying to do some great work up close as Cammy drops from the back. And Insight falls from the front as well. Thieves are able to hold on. 30 seconds left. That's going to get them right back in this game, Study.
Yeah, great hold right there out of the Thieves. Now Slasher's in such a key position in that top green. Fortunately, he was going to drop, but he was able to take one down with him. So that's going to spawn the players from Toronto Ultra at the back of P3. One player is able to win his gunfight, but all the kills do go in favor of the Ultra. Now they're going to spawn LA Thieves once again back towards P3, so to give the time to Ultra to set up early on P4.
We talk about Ultra a lot. Obviously, it's their home series. We got a lot of changes in regards to the comms as well with this group. Let's go and see how those comms are sounding. Let's go do our Astro Gaming listening with Toronto.
Big door, TJ.
Oh, really big TJ. One shot!
On his first time.
Yeah, back left 10. Back left 10 and slash.
Really big
back left 10.
Hold on, left. Back, mid door, underground.
Mid door.
I'm hitting top.
Right side mid if you want.
Hello.
Staying alive.
Yeah.
Float in. Yeah.
One sub
In
mid.
time on you.
One close
He's
mid.
killing me back left, bro. Slasher back left.
Time.
Nice.
One in vent room.
I spawned fucking out.
One right. Right
Take
side
your
mid.
time
On the plant.
No trophy. Oh, they got trophy.
On the plant. I spawn green.
Yeah.
They're gonna know though.
Okay, one's back right, I'm pretty sure then.
Bandage, he's under
I'm
the
weak.
point,
I'm
under the point.
weak.
No, he's close left corner. Kenny.
I can kill
Kenny,
them.
Kenny's close.
Maybe Toby.
On the plant.
Flip.
Yeah.
Top green, on the plant.
After top green, one gold. He went cast stairs.
Dead.
Cast stairs, gone green, I think.
Okay.
Really?
TJ might be in
Spawn
gold.
out.
Wait, score, teach.
Where?
Pitch it up.
It's Kenny. Look for teach though.
Top green, teach.
Score, I'm pretty sure.
Teach, top green.
Temp score one shot.
Underground.
Dead.
Nice.
They haven't killed top green.
I spawned Van.
Back. On top green still. I'm dead.
Green, nice. You block Jamie?
Yeah, I'm blocking.
Okay.
I'm backside hill.
Kenny in time.
2, one more, Toby.
Slasher, one shot, close right, Toby, close right, and then one's
I'm
back.
back there.
He's still there, Jamie.
Yeah.
Nice, bro, good shit. Hold that, Jamie.
You block it? Yeah, I've got it.
I'm gonna help him on the right.
I can't cross gold.
I'm trying to help you on the right.
I got it.
Nice.
Where are they at, Ben? Back
Gonna
right,
be back
on me.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Back
coming.
right, back right, back right. I'm one shot.
All deep, all deep.
He's wrapped up.
Temp. Any weak, Nice.
Let's
Last
go.
one more.
He's back
Still
tank.
blocking him, still blocking him.
Back tank
Keep
still.
blocking.
Yeah, he said one shot back tank. One shot back tank slash.
It is all Toronto in the feed, looking great, really, in these last few sequences. So, tell you what, this is kind of our first official comm session. Toronto Ultra as a full four-man lineup. Their really first map as well. What'd you make of the comms as Insight sits on now 5 in a row?
Well, I love the comms, man. You can just tell that these guys, they have had some chemistry together. They're telling exactly what they need to do. Insight, I was expecting him to have a lot more energy, but he's calm, cool, and collected, man. Just doing the job that his team needs him to do. Right there towards that P5, CleanX had a lucky spawn to spawn out towards back bricks. He was able to flip those spawns for his team, so now they were able to basically tie the game up. But a job well done so far from Toronto. That could have ended up really bad for those P4 and P5 hard points, but they were able to bounce back. Basically have a tie game now. If you're Toronto, try to get as much time as you can and try to focus those spawn. Insight able to take down one. Kenny with the second. 3 go down for Toronto. Cammy's going to be the last player alive, and you see what he's trying to do, just trying to take control of that top green, rotate towards that P2. Nice and early to get an early setup.
Yeah, Kenny trying to keep him in the back of the base, as again, it's a rotation battle, as 2 from Toronto have made it to the back. One being Cammy, the other being CleanX, and now they've both revealed their positions, and they're happy to do so. Again, staying alive, and Kenny really off of the spawns. His teammates are out on the other side. Now he's the sole man left alive and back tank. Toronto, they're able to hold strong. Those 2 players end up going big, and now they've got spawns for the Money Hill.
Yeah, fully sub as well. You're going to see Cammy in a position winning a huge gunfight versus TJ. All the LA Thieves players trying to break through bricks. Here comes Temp with that QBZ, able to take down 2. So now this is going to set up the pinch for LA Thieves. All the players are going to be spawning out for Ultra. Now the Thieves should be able to climb back and eventually take the lead on this hard point. But you have to think about that rotation. Are any players working towards streaks? Temp's currently on a 3 spree. He's going to drop. But so far, the Thieves are trying to do everything they can to retake this lead now. But they have to start thinking about that rotation towards that P3, or Ultra will be able to get a full 60.
Yeah, and Vance is really one of the main cutoffs to try and slow down this push early. That's a great 2-piece coming in from Temp and TJ. What previous SMG brethren, now the switching of roles, but they've got each other's back. But really now for Ultra, you're looking for them to get some good seconds over at this hill, but they're finding a few players in the back, and that is good if you are a Thieves fan. TJ's able to spawn there, and now it gets a little bit worrisome if you're Toronto. CleanX trying to go big, ring around the rosy at the generators, as that's now going to be 3 in a row for him. Granted, they don't have the spawns, but at least he's able to stay alive. 17 and 16 meets Kenny. Unfortunately, he gets dropped, but for the meantime, Toronto still spawning out. CleanX does all he can, and at the very least, if you're Toronto, given the flipping of spawns, you're at least able to grab some time. But Thieves, they just continue to rush on in the HP, regain control, and that lead continues to grow.
Yeah, Toronto had the early rotation. Some key gunfights went in the favor of the Thieves. But it was a good job from Toronto right there. Not giving up a full 60. Only going to give up about 30 points to LA Thieves, so it should put them about at 180 mark. They're also going to be set up for that P4. It's all about just winning these gunfights. And as I say, that 3 go down for LA Thieves. It's going to give some time for Ultra to gain some time on this hard point and eventually fight back in this game. But how long can they hold? We saw the way that the Thieves were able to break through last time, all flooding through this dark and flat area. Flash was going to open up with 1, Kenny with the second. CleanX is trying to play his life on hill. You have to stay alive and just stall time for your team, but LA Thieves, they have broken through.
Yeah, Thieves just with a great setup. TJ really puts the exclamation point toward the end, I should say the beginning really of this hill, but the end of that particular team fight sequence as Cammy drops as well. A few players trying to make their way inside of green, but TJ is not stopping the nice drop shot into the 5 spree. Nearly as much HP as his streak was. He's going to keep it alive as well. TJ having a phenomenal game and clearly being the difference maker so far for the Thieves, trying to distance themselves here over at bottom floating. Slasher here as well. And what we talked about kind of coming into this game, how are the SMGs going to be firing now with Kenny back in this SMG position, but it's TJ with the nice sequence to continue to grab that lead. Toronto, though, now with the next hard point, they're going to need every single second to bring this one back.
Yeah, and they're winning a lot of key gunfights. They're going to spawn all of LA Thieves towards the backside of the tank. Kenny was able to win a huge 2-piece in the middle of the map, so that's going to be 3 down for Ultra. Spawning all the players towards that dark area. The number 4 player is going to be CleanX. Huge 2-piece towards that bricks area. Just just trying to keep them off at bay, trying to spawn all of LA Thieves towards that back left tank. They're still gaining a lot of time. 24 seconds from closing out this map. Number one are the Thieves. So far, the Ultra are doing everything they can to try to hold this hard point, trying to keep control of top green. So far, they're doing a phenomenal job.
I gotta say one thing for me so far throughout this map from the Thieves, it's been their coordination, their ability to kind of get these kills in large sequences, constant 3 and 4 down for Toronto as they continue to be in the feed. Back to the respawn screen they go, and Slasher snapping them away. Just 10 seconds left for the Thieves to call this one curtains. And really, if you're Toronto, you're just put between a rock and a hard place. Your few players that were already at P1, they end up dropping as well. Insight. And try to get any sort of pick. Is there any work that they can make happen? And the answer is no. Thieves, they come out hot and heavy, winning this hardpoint in a solid way.
Oh, man, that's good for the Thieves, man, and especially for Slasher. I felt like I haven't seen Slasher put up a hardpoint performance like that in a really long time, man. This QBZ and Slasher must be feeling really good as a combination. That's got to be one of his Infinity Stones. A phenomenal first map right there out of the Thieves. If you're the Ultra, obviously a couple rotations don't go in your favor. You also let Kenny make a tremendous two-piece right there when you're rotating towards that P5. Shouldn't have let that happen. That was basically the opening of the map. LA Thieves, they showed that they're really good at that Garrison hardpoint. 3-0 now on the season.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, like I was just, like I said, really impressed with what we saw from the team. I mean, it was a number of different guys kind of stepping up. I know Slasher and TJ especially kind of had a few of those highlight plays toward the end, but it just kind of seemed like the coordination was on point. Everybody kind of knew where they needed to be, and despite at times a slaying frenzy being brought up from the Ultra, Thieves were just able to answer. They were able to answer, and again, when we talk about this roster, to start off the year in hardpoint, they were 6-1 in their first 4 series, and their last 4 series, they kind of start to trail down a little bit, finishing off like a 1-4 in hardpoint. So what are they going to be able to provide us with in this match? One, it clearly seems to be a hardpoint victory, and a solid one at that.
Yeah, man, and now we're going into a raid search and destroy. This is where I'm looking at Insight to really step up for the Ultra. This is not one of their best game modes on the year, but this is one that they can definitely bounce back in this series if they're able to take this one.
Yeah, I'm excited, right? It's going to be fun to see exactly how this next search and destroy lines out. Again, if you're Ultra, you're a new team. When you talk about new teams, sometimes that search and destroy can start to struggle a little bit. So it's going to be fun to see exactly how they look. Again, search and destroy up next. Thieves finding themselves up 1-0. Toronto, let's see how they respond. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Call of Duty League is presented by Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The US Army, what's your warrior?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Toronto Home Series. We have got a great series to start off your day. It is LA Thieves taking on the Toronto Ultra. Let's go on and get to our game fuel keys to victory. Starting things off with the Thieves. Buddy, what do you got?
They have to be better in hardpoint, man. It was a strength to start the season. Started off 6-1, currently 2-3 in their last 5 hardpoint maps. Now they win that first hardpoint, so that's job well done there. Temp also has to be on point today with that new flex role. We've been talking about it. He's the X factor in those respawns. We see him in hardpoint when he's winning, 1.26. When he's losing, 0.75. And in control as well, 1.08, 0.75. So he's pretty consistent in those losses. But when we see him in those wins, he's going off for this team. So he's going to have to be that player for them.
Yeah, and I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, like in regards to Black Ops 4, like obviously played the flex role like back in that game with like Splice and whatnot, and he was excellent with the Maddox.
Yeah.
Like I know everybody was great with the Maddox. It was a phenomenal gun, but just in general, like at least to start off the year, that guy without a doubt had the gunny without question. So it's good to see him have a solid performance along with the team. Now let's get to our game field keys to victory here for our home roster. Stud, what do you got, buddy?
Inside needs to make a strong debut, man. Metis was was Ultra's top player in every single mode. We talked about it during the pre-show. He had a really good showing in that very first map. They also need to improve in their control, ranked 11th throughout the entire CDL, and that's just something that you have to be improving. Hopefully with Insight there, we have some more success in that game mode, and avoid raid at all costs. Unfortunately, we're going to be running into a raid S&D here, followed up by a raid control. They're 0-3 in hard points, 2-4 in control. This S&D, man, for them is going to be it, man. If they can win this, obviously they have a lot of reps on raid control, but you're going up against the LA Thieves, and they're not an easy team to beat in respawn. So this S&D is going to solidify this for me.
Yeah, I got to ask you too, like in regards to this particular map or this kind of mode combination, when you do have a new player kind of joining in the ranks of the team, you've already kind of got preset strategies. We talked about the Thieves, the way that they kind of looked at that opening hard point. It was all about their teamwork. When you're coming into a new team like this, is there anything that you're trying to do to make the rookie or to try to make the new player comfortable? Like, how do those search and destroy strategies kind of translate when you bring in a new guy like Insight?
Oh, when you bring in an Insight for Methods, we know exactly how Methods decided to play this map every single time. He was always going towards Laundry. When the team was pushing it out, he would back up towards the Rock and just hold his head glitches. I feel like with Toronto in the situation that they're in now, they're just going to fill him in the gaps. Everybody's going to be playing their normal positions. Obviously, Insight, he's going to be learning as he's going, but as long as he's just there, just being that position that his team needs him to be, he'll be fine.
That's obviously your quick scope presented by Scuff, kind of giving us a little bit of an insight. I know we've already made the pun. It's just gonna happen. We love the guy. Great name, great gamer tag. But clearly, search and destroy for both these teams. Again, really for Thieves, when you look down that list, it was kind of all consistency, right? It's like you don't really know where to try to strike this team. We know that at least in regards to kind of maps and modes so far for Toronto, it's kind of been that control, right? Raid control, the one that you have to circle, not been a great one for them. So I know you've kind of talked about it, Study, with all the pressure that's on Toronto right now. I gotta say, man, I'm kind of worried for them coming into the search and destroy because we do have control up next. They're not able to win the opening hardpoint. Oftentimes they've been able to do that. So I know there's a lot of pressure on this team coming into this roster change. I know losing kind of a brand player like Methods, the statistics will kind of show you that was not the right decision to make, but clearly the team feels like it was the right move to consider. And now a lot of that kind of comes into this next search and destroy. In your first match, you're facing off against one of the best teams in the CDL, Thieves, from top to bottom, gonna be solid. I'm excited to see some good old raid S&D coming up next. It's been some time, you know. We didn't get we don't have Express, we don't have Apocalypse. I'm happy to have a raid. I'll be honest with you, man. Love me some raid.
Yeah, I'm happy to see this raid, and we're on board with the man, the myth, the legend in TJ. I can't wait to. I love watching him in search and destroy. He's a phenomenal player, just taking map control whenever he needs to. But right now, you're going to see the Thieves just trying to read the Ultra players, trying to decide how their defensive setup is going to be. Ultra taking control of mid-map. You're going to see that number 3 player in Insight just playing the same position that Methods usually plays on this map. And he backs up towards the Rock, making sure he's playing his life correctly. He's doing exactly what Methods is doing. Now it's all about TJ trying to win that gunfight versus Vance. He's able to take him down. Kenny with the trade. Now it's going to be a 3v2 situation for the Thieves.
Cammy is going to get a nice line start on the Slasher. The QBZ through the mansion wall decides to go and turn on out. And how about the find on a TJ as well? Kenny in the 1 versus 2 has immediate knowledge as to where one of them is. Really, one bullet silences Cammy. And now it is all into a 1 versus 1. Insight versus Kenny. Kenny able to get that bomb down. And really, if you're Insight, it'd be a hard bomb to try and retake, considering all the line sights that you've got. But Kenny out in the open. It does not matter. Say it with your chest. takes him down inside of money, and that is a great first round for the Thieves.
Oh, man, that's some phenomenal shots. And if you're inside in that situation, you put in a 1v1 for your team, you want to make sure that they made the right situation for you to join this roster. Unfortunately, lose that 1v1 to Kenny. Really going to set you guys back. Cammy was going huge right there with that 2-piece. Now they're going to find themselves on offense.
Kenny said, are you guys sure you don't mean to run the QBZ? Are you sure?
Man, Kenny just hit some phenomenal shots onto that guy. Money
he's just good, you know. He's just a good player. Yeah. Like it's just kind of what it comes down to. But here we go, Ultra next round, and wanting to get early on aggressive as they'll go and take down one early. Insight finds the pick on the slasher, and really there's going to be no presence inside of Laundry anymore. The nice grab from inside as well. Kenny and Temp left in a 2 versus 4, and again, it's not the QBZ, it's the 74U. It's got some good shots from range, but even Kenny would struggle with that particular fight. A difficult retake for the Thieves. Now all on to Temp.
Oh, man, the aggression right there out of Ultra was so huge. You saw what Thieves tried to do right there on their defensive round. Just take control of mid-map, take control of that P5 area to cut off both bomb sites, but them just flooding out Slasher. Everybody team-shotting in was able to give up that side. They take control of Laundry, put the bomb down. Easy work right there for the Ultra to tie it up.
Now, I want to say that it was aBeZy, like in an interview to start off the season where they faced off against Ultra on this map, and his biggest thing was like, yeah, they just ran at us. So that's kind of what we saw over at B this time around. So I'm curious if Thieves, you know, I'm sure they've probably done their homework, of course, but I'm interested if that kind of aggression is only going to continue. Last defense, Ultra, they got nice and aggressive up inside of middle with those SMGs. It appears that they'll look to try to do the same thing again, but it's really going to be a quick gander to their right because that's where the presence is looking to be. Nobody inside of Laundry, and so Thieves are going to be happy to set up shop here. CleanX down to 42 HP, able to stay alive despite what could have been an early engagement. Temp able to find one, and CleanX is looking for the pick, but that's 2 straight for LA.
Temp just went so huge, man. There were 2 players from Ultra trying to bait him, switch him out of that art room. He was able to take one down and then eventually set up the team fire for a Slasher. But Cammy left in a 1v2, able to hit some great shots onto Slasher. 45 seconds left. Temp's going to pick up the bomb. He's just going to take his time, trying to work the minds of the players from the Thieves. TJ doing great shows, was able to spot him. So now you see that bomb carrier come off. Here comes the double challenge, and just like that, the Thieves are able to walk away with that round, now put them up 2-1 on map number 2.
That's just good coordination, right? You're kind of in that situation, you're in a 2 versus 1, and I feel like when you're the objective player, sometimes it always kind of comes down to where, you know, your teammate, right, is kind of engaging in that 1v1. Do I continue to plant the bomb? Do I try to engage? They instantly make the decision. TJ gets the call out. And again, it's that coordination from Thieves. Granted, I know it's a 2 versus 1. You expect them to win it, but there have been so many times, I feel like already throughout stage 1 and now leading into stage 2, where teams just making mistakes when they're up. It was an overall 4v2 for LA Thieves. Comes down to a 2 versus 1, and they're able to win it out. Toronto back on the offense again. We saw them last time. It was the aggression early, the trades coming out and favoring Thieves early. As Temp will happily walk away with that one, now fading back into Art, and Insight is going to be prepared for it. Again, if you're Ultra, you've got that objective. Insight nearly firing upon his teammates, maybe a little bit too fast of a reaction. I like this play from Thieves, already making their way inside a garage. The quick 2 versus 1, and again, it's the coordination for LA.
It was that adjustment right there, man, out of Kenny. Kenny decided to be aggressive towards that raid, pushes right in, able to open up the first blood, and that sets up Temp and TJ, who have been aggressive towards that mid P5 the entire time. TJ was able to set up the crossfire there, but then Temp once again pushing through that Zig, just being a nuisance around their art area. Insight, he almost team killed right there towards the end of that round, but just phenomenal round out of Thieves, man. Just taking map control, working together. Their teamwork's on point right now.
Definitely is, and if you're Ultra, right at this point in the game, you just got to find a pick, right? You're on defense.
Yeah.
You really are just looking for the opposing team to make a mistake. You're playing aggressive, which can work, but we're talking about 2 rounds back-to-back for LA. You're already down 1-0. Pick would be nice, and the pick is what they get. Bant's able to find his first kill of the game. On the other end, it's TJ trying to make Toronto somewhat uncomfortable in regards to their base. He'll be hanging out in basketball. Clearly has some March Madness fever. And for Toronto, somewhat of a different spread, but you kind of got 2 players somewhat separated, but player 4, Cleanex, could cause some problems over there at the Rock.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that LA Thieves, they gained control of that A site. Unfortunately, the bomb carrier in Kenny dropped all the way at raid, so Ultra are going to walk away with that round. TJ was able to open up with a big kill onto the guy in basketball. If Kenny doesn't die at that raid situation, they get a free A bomb plant. Probably a lot easier for them to close out this round, but just the positioning out of Ultra right there, Insight, making sure he's watching the late flank onto TJ. Phenomenal round out of the Ultra there to win that defense.
And I'm curious now, again, we continue to talk about the offenses. Last 2 that we've saw, Toronto, fast and aggressive rush over toward B. Do we see them do it again? All eyes on the mini-map. And it looks as if they're still going to aim at B. We'll see how fast. We'll go and see if we can clock them. Decently fast, yeah. They got a good rush. They got 2 SMGs set up front. But again, it's those Krigs, it's those QBZs sitting through mid that are so problematic. But no one yet to drop. Ant's trying to keep that streak alive for the short moment as TJ, somewhat frustrated, only getting hit markers for now. As we've got all 8 still to go. A few players making their way on the flank right now for the Thieves. And it could be, I thought for a moment, maybe a rotation for Toronto, but bomb's going down.
So bomb's going to be planted for Laundry side. They have full control of that. 2 players coming around from Art. They're going to be Kenny and TJ. How do the Thieves decide to break this? A lot of trophy systems blocking all those tacticals. Temp was able to spot Insight. Here comes Kenny on the engagement. Trying to go for the trade. He's going to drop. Insight with the great first blood. Now it's a 4v3. See 2 players from the Thieves trying to break through middle pillars. Great shots coming from TJ. Is he going to get the second? Yes, he does. Now it's a 3v2 situation. Ultra have to try to hold. Cammy's going to get the second. 2v2. Slasher with the third. Cleanex left in a 1v2 situation. All he has to do is play clock. All he has to do is play clock and get him off the bomb, and he does so. Phenomenal round there out of Cleanex to close out that round number 6. Tied the game up at 3-3 apiece. Got a little scary there with TJ walking away with that 2-piece, but Cleanex played it well, played the clock well. Now we have a tied game.
And those are the rounds you look at, right, toward the end of the game, and you're thinking, how did we walk away with this? How did we kind of start to muster a little bit of a comeback? It's because of plays like that, and with TJ doing what he did. I mean, you look at that kind of best play in the round, and you're just assuming, right, it has to go the way of the Thieves, right? But no, Toronto, they're able to play their life, and I gotta say, I think early on, because of the plant, they're able to find one of the early picks. Thieves didn't really have a whole lot of time to engage, because when you're in that 1 versus 2, there's a good 11 seconds, so you're giving Cleanex a lot of time, obviously in reverse, but to work with. Thieves, maybe if they engage a little bit faster, they walk away with it. But TJ currently off of that 3 spree. Looking to only continue it now, coming into this next offense, as B just continues to be the target. And speaking of target, Temp, they've had a few players just right in his line sight, but it looks to be a 3-man push toward the back flank. Inside able to drop 1, and that's a nice line side there over at the trees. There's Temp's chance.
Yeah, something you usually don't expect. Fortunately, he's going to drop there. Now it's Kenny left in a 1v3 situation. Great spot out of Insight once again to take him down. Now the Ultra find themselves up on map number 2. 2 rounds away from closing this out and eventually tying the series. Honestly, that spot is brand new to me. I know this map's been out for 10 years. I've just never seen somebody actually stand up and basically form their body around the tree. Great spot. Great insight out of Insight there to close out that round, man.
Love the pun, Study. Love to see it. You know what? Good play coming in from him. That's Insight's 3rd first blood, by the way. So we talk about methods, his impact, especially with weapons like the Krig. Insight filling that role for now as was the 2-2 split. SMGs are going to go and meet back up with Cammy and Insight as A will now be the target. You see the Thieves, they're ready, they're prepared for it. Slasher, not the greatest game to start things off, but the first blood will be nice. Cleanex, nice shots in the transition over at Water Stairs. But it all comes down to Bance. Bomb was planted, and I believe Slasher is already going to have the line sight. Yep, they're prepared. They know exactly where young Benjamin Bance was hiding, and that'll be Slasher able to go for the defuse, and we've got ourselves a nice 4-4 game. Back and forth we go, Study.
Yeah, I would like to see Toronto right there just speed up the pace. You saw exactly the way the Thieves have been playing their defenses so far. You have Slasher sitting back laundry, 2 players taking control of P5, and then Kenny's usually just roaming, deciding where he wants to switch up his positioning. Right there, he decides to be aggressive towards raid. You've seen a couple players push towards that top bedroom. They spot no one, and eventually they try to work towards that bomb plant, but at that point, it was too late. Like I said, full P5 control was in the favor of the Thieves. Now we are tied 4-4. Going into another offense for the Thieves. So far, the Ultra, they've been looking really good on their defensive stance. Can they stop the Thieves once again, trying to be aggressive towards that B push?
Again, you're kind of looking at TJ maybe to make the play. Sitting at 8 and 4, has had so many great moments in S&D so far throughout this season, but right now for Thieves, just slowly making their way up toward the B bomb site. TJ still taking somewhat of a sight through mid, but it's Kenny who's able to find a nice early one. Cammy quickly on the return, so 3v3, and Slasher, or rather it's Clayster there with the trade, so back and forth we go. 2v2, Kenny and Temp aware of Insight's position. They're going to try to play this one together, but they both run into his sight, and Temp has to back away. 1v2, and what looked like a great spot. Temp and Kenny thought they had the advantage, but it's the rookie who goes big, finds the first, and finds the second. Ultra, they reach their 5th.
Yeah, I don't like what the Thieves did right there, man. They were able to spot him in that top laundry. They both decided to challenge from the same exact angle. That was not well executed, not great teamwork right there out of the Thieves, but great job out of Insight right there, getting one, staying alive, and eventually working out the 2v1 with his teammate. 9 and 5 for the young man, currently on a 2 spree, 1 round away from closing this map out and tying up the series 1-1. Ultra looking like they're going to commit towards this B site. This time, you see the Thieves having 3 players go towards B5. Switching it up with Temp going down towards water steps, but you see how fast TJ and Kenny are playing on the flank. Did Insight gain that information? Are they going to know that a couple players are coming around the back? Here comes TJ slowly creeping up at Insight with the great first blood. Now it's a 3v4 situation for the Ultra.
And the first blood for the rookie, reads it well. The nade able to stay alive. A Slasher's trying to make his way in from pillars, but it's Insight again. 4 spree, nearly makes it a 5th. Temp clearly brought down in regards to HP, but he has to engage. He's going to try to play the bait and switch, and that's wonderfully played. Coming in from these two, weren't able to convert the 2v2 last time around, but time is starting to tick away, and they're starting to run into the sights. It's Cammy able to find the first, and the teamwork will give it to the Ultra. Insight goes big. The 2v2 clutch comes in from the Ultra as well. We've got ourselves a game study.
Oh, man, it was Insight. I thought that he got really bad timing when he was going back and forth from that art room, sitting around that white van area, but he was able to open up the first blood and then eventually get the second onto Slasher. It's a phenomenal search and destroy of the young man, making his debut. Unfortunately, dropped that map number 1, but he clutches up for his team in that map number 2. Tied at 1-1. We have a series on our hands now, Lando.
We do. I'm excited. Well, we kind of came into the day expecting to see some close games. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My pick'ems have been horrible for Toronto. Like, that is the one team that I have yet to, like, I didn't even think get a point from. Like, I don't think I've gotten a point from Toronto. So I'm sitting a little bit happier after that. I thought, you know, I've been watching Insight and the Challengers. He's been playing absolutely insane. Like, the guy has been clearly lighting it up, especially in that last open. He was unbelievable for that roster. So I'm excited to see exactly what they can do, maybe kind of catering in some momentum coming into this next control, but it cannot be understated. Insight finishes 11 and 6, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And now we come into this next control, which has been the problem for Ultra. They wipe away the search and destroy problems. They're able to win that. But now we come into the mode where they previously have struggled, Study.
Yeah, man, 2 and 4 overall on raid control. 6 times that they've played that map. So obviously, you know, switching up a player from Metis to Insight. Insight is having a phenomenal series so far. Let's see if they're able to make those changes in that raid control.
I want to go and take a quick little gainer back, actually, for our U.S. Army tactical play. This one actually coming in from round 6 and that raid search and destroy. We got to revisit it. Again, a nice moment coming through from Toronto and some kind of familiar teammates here, Study. Insight and Clayster. What, these two back in Singularity, back in Black Ops 4, surprised a lot of people and catering in that prior chemistry into this clutch situation.
Yeah, man. You see TJ open up with 2, and then eventually Slasher was able to get the 3rd. So it's a 2v1 situation. 13 seconds remaining. Cleanex knows exactly what he has to do. Just kill the bomb carrier. He was able to do that and eventually get away with his life. Even if he does drop the gunfight there, job well done out of Cleanex.
Yeah, good stuff from the team. And that, again, that was kind of one of the rounds where we said, hey, maybe we'll look back at this one and maybe we'll say, hey, that was kind of the difference maker. One of the many clutches that Toronto were able to get. And now we look at this next control thinking, hey, you know what? We talk about the CDL, new stage, new maps, new weapons, new teams, new players, maybe even an entirely new Ultra when it comes down to control. But again, been very impressed with Insight really to start off this series. Has been playing super well, and we'll see how his impact looks in regards to this next control. We're tied at 1-1. Last time we saw control, it was crazy between both of these teams. We'll see what happens as Control Raid is up next.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Toronto Home Series, Stage 2, Day 2. Let's go and talk about our next mode in regards to these two teams, Toronto Ultra versus LA Thieves. When it comes down to stats, Study, it was methods, right? In every single game mode, led in every single mode for this team, especially in that control. Rocking a 1.07, Cammy just behind him. But really, when we talk about methods, I gotta say, man, I've been impressed with his kind of predecessor right now. Insight's been playing great. I know he's had some phenomenal stats. I'll have you kind of let me know what those are, because I gotta say, he's having a great game to start off these first two.
Yeah, man, a great game indeed, man. A 1.28 so far on the series, and that's just something you don't really expect out of a player making his debut, filling the shoes that he needs to fill for the #1 player on the Ultra roster previously. So he's definitely showing up. I'm telling you, look at this. Look at this. You can see the Astro Social soundboard. You can just see it. Yo, Insight, this is a nerd one. Love it. I'm telling you, that map's been out for 12 plus years, and I've never seen that positioning, man. Even though he's still teaching us little positions, and I love the way he's playing so far.
I love it, man. I think Insight's like 20 years old. That map came out when he was like 10. So I don't know if he's been holding on to that one for a decade, but Tell you what, some wonderful stuff coming through from that guy. Trying to bring the team back in regards to, again, a mode that Toronto has not been good at. We said after the first hard point, it's rough because, hey, you got to win the search and destroy. They're able to do so because control, again, has not been their preferred mode. And what, Methods is obviously leading in KD for this particular one. And he also has the #1 control X factor in the entire CDL than Methods. He had a 2.1 in their wins and a 0.9 in their losses. So again, we've been talking about it. Who is going to be able to fill the shoes of Methods now that he is going to be benched for the team? Insight's been able to do it, and I tell you what, man, a 2.1, especially versus the Thieves coming into here, it is not going to be easy. But I know we kind of talked about this a little bit coming into the series. Maybe those reps, right, Toronto, they're playing raid control for a reason. They may not be great at the mode, but hey, you start to get a lot of practice on the same map combination. Who knows? Maybe you could shock somebody here.
Yeah, you definitely need to shock someone because last time these guys played control, it was on checkmate and a 2v7 came from Slasher and Temp to eventually eliminate them from the major. You're going to see what the Thieves are trying to do right off the rip, work towards that B site, trying to get some early ticks. 2 kills are going on both sides. So now TJ, eventually he's going to work towards that first tick at B. So now you see the Thieves players, Slasher in the only positioning towards that B site, trying to get some kills. He's going to drop as well. So now you see what the Thieves are trying to do. Just work towards that A point. Job well done at B to get 1 tick. But now they should have a free A point and not, hopefully it won't be contested with the positioning out of Cleanex coming around the backside.
Yeah, we talk about it so much too. Like, I'm just so used to it at this point when we talk about control. It's like, okay, who's going to be able to steal the offense? Like, we've seen so many control checkmates. It's like, all right, who's going to steal the offense? In regards to this map, exactly the opposite, right? I mean, like, offense, you have a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility in regards to the way that you can kind of mimic both of those points all at once. But a nice start early for the Thieves, getting that time over at A. I was curious if we were going to see kind of a last-second push come in from Cleanex. A little bit late on the flank, but hey, this is the perfect time to catch the Thieves with their pants down. Able to drop Slasher for the first, but it's the crossfire that will be able to equal things out. So Thieves, they secure another minute. And I've got plenty of time to try to even out that man life count as Temp, the farthest pushed up player, trying to make some presence incoming from Kitchen, but it's Cleanex who's able to wipe him away.
And that was huge. A huge 2-piece from Cleanex right there. Temp opened up with 1. They would have had full kitchen control, and they gained all that information that the Ultra players are pushed up towards bedroom with the spawns that they are currently getting. Ultra were able to shut down that push. Now they have a 4-kill lead. Temp able to take down 1. Cleanex with the second. And so far, the Ultra are holding on their defense. A minute 30 left on this clock. 15 lives for the Thieves. Kenny able to open up with 1. But the Ultra do have full control of bedroom. You're going to see what the Thieves are trying to do. Take control of kitchen. The positioning right there. Out of Bance able to take down 1. He's eventually going to get traded. Here comes Temp for the second. So now this might open up a push for the Thieves. They're going to spawn all the players from Ultra towards back basketball. They have to try to eliminate these 2 players and then eventually work towards the bedroom players. They were able to spot 1. Slash is able to take down 1 with the nade. Here comes the second, and this might be the push that the Thieves need.
Player 6 could actually be there for somewhat of a pinch. No insight, he's not prepared for it. His teammate actually jumped out. And so that's going to allow for the pinch to be in play. Obviously, Toronto back off the spawns. Time starting to tick away. Cammy trying to go big. Can he get to the point in time? But that's not going to be the case. LA Thieves, they send the flank through. They're able to get the pinch over inside a mansion. And despite some good defensive plays early from the Ultra, it's overwhelmingly that team push that comes in there at the end as LA grab our first round.
Yeah, once they were able to open up those 2 kills around that kitchen area, the positioning out of 1 player from the Thieves, he was pushing all the way around laundry side, so they are completely blocking that spawn. They gain all the information that the players are spawning out towards back basketball. Once they eliminate those 2 players and eventually have them to spawn out back laundry, it forces the players from bedroom to try to turn around, but it just set up a great pitch for TJ to get that kill and eventually close out that great first round executed out of the Thieves.
When we talk about the Thieves, it's really been this coordination, this teamwork, and all of that comes in from the comms. Let's go to an Astro listening with LA.
They're
Right
small
now.
close beyond us.
He ran at me, white man. Alright, Cleanex the only one on A, I think. Or maybe our laundry, actually. I spawn her.
Trying to help you mid.
Zig, 2 mid.
I have your mid.
Two Zig. Okay.
There's a broke
Zig,
glass at
Zig,
pool.
both of them. I got one.
I can help you, man.
He
Broke glass at pool, I think. Am I tripping?
Inside
I
was
don't know.
mid.
I don't see any pillars around. I'm coming to B-side with you.
Push him there.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, it was mid, inside.
We might
Yeah,
Zig.
we can fight
Back
this. Yeah,
one,
we can
back
fight it. Yeah.
On you, Clayster.
Let's go.
Nice. I'm putting our door.
Yeah, I'm blocking B side. Y'all get it.
Close me, point.
Clayster's from behind you. Nice.
Backside point.
One
Can
shot,
we?
one
Can
shot,
we?
don't have yo.
He's
One
best.
one shot.
One's in our basketball, bro.
I'm trying to cut off face. I cut off B.
On my laundry.
One's in our
I'm
basketball.
AC.
One's still A.
I'm AC.
One's still A.
Bench.
Nice, good job.
I got one. Another guy on AC.
Trying to help you.
Kitchen.
He could be AC on me. He was. I thought
Yeah,
he
but
was.
listen, they're gonna spawn back right.
He's back right. He's back laundry.
Hey.
Oh, yep. Cammy one shot.
Where's their back?
Cammy was on you, left corner, one
garage
shot.
me.
Yeah, one's going through ring right now.
garage
One's going
it.
through ring.
Toronto able to grab the A point early. Study, what'd you make of the comms there from the Thieves?
You know, they decided to give that A point and they tried to make a late push towards that A point and eventually take the Ultra players off, but the positioning out of Bance right there pushed them all the way towards their back rock, eventually spawn killing TJ at that basketball area, so they were eventually able to close out that A point. Now it's going to be 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. CleanX with a huge gunfight onto Kenny. Here comes the second challenge onto Slasher. This might be the opening for the Ultra. They can get a couple players on this point, so they can start working some ticks down. Kenny able to open up with the first blood. CleanX with the trade. CleanX with 2 with that QBZ. He's been going huge 2-piece after 2-piece. TJ going down as well. Slasher's going to be the only one in position to try to keep him off, but so far the Ultra players just trying to work some early ticks, but Slasher playing his life towards top pocket. It's causing so much trouble for the Ultra players to try to get a full setup.
Yeah, that's really the guy that you have to try and vacate. Vance is going to go and Vin to stay inside the point. CleanX from the back end. He gets dropped as well. So it really comes down to Vance. And they know exactly where he's going to be hiding at. Despite that, though, able to still find a gunfight win. But with 45 seconds left, live count somewhat even for the moment. But TJ, he's going to try to ruin the party. And really, at every single moment where you're thinking, Ultra, this could be their chance, it's somebody stepping up big.
Oh.
And right now, it's TJ. Did it in the opening respawn, and now doing it here in the control, making the mansion his own. CleanX finally able to silence him with 23 on the clock. Toronto, they really have to get to the point as quick as possible. They've got a great setup right now. Kenny over at the water stairs. Temp, he's hanging out inside a Tiki. Toronto now with no respawns left. I know we talked about clutches previously, but I don't think it's going to happen this time, Study.
Nah, the positioning so far out of the Thieves right now, it was all left onto Slasher. When he was top pocket, he just stalled so much time for his teammates to get to him. Eventually, the Thieves close out that defensive round. Now they put themselves up game point from closing out this map number 3. But like I said, man, it just went down to, they had that one push. Ultra had that one push where they were able to push up towards that B site. They just were not able to eliminate Slasher out of pocket. He was causing so many problems for them, for all the long-range ARs who were turning that corner, just trying to get up towards that B point, to eventually help their teammates get a cap. Just great work out of the Thieves right there. We saw Slasher holding it from pocket, TJ eventually closing it out on a 5-spree towards that bedroom. Just a great defensive hold right there out of the Thieves.
Yeah, I feel like when we talk about control rate, it's kind of coming down to the same strategy, right? Like, overwhelmingly, the offensive team is going to be able to grab A at some point, as CleanX tries to have somewhat of a nice play. He gets actually 2 nades stuck right to his noggin, so he'll drop. But really, it's the A point early, and then if you're the offensive team, it's just a matter of can you or will you be able to get 4 down over at that B point? And really, in that last round for Thieves, they just don't allow for that to take place. Some big plays coming in from a number of different guys, but we just cannot stop talking about good old TJHaLy sitting on what was 4 in a row. But despite that, he's able to push out Toronto all the way toward jungle, and really that's going to leave this A point open. Again, the strategy is only going to remain. That'll be an extra minute on the clock, and really from the Thieves' perspective, when you give these guys time to work, they've been able to come away with a decent amount of success. So again, 2 minutes on the clock, Ultra. We'll see how their opening hold looks as Temp and Slasher finding 2 early.
So 2 are going to drop. Kenny's going to be able to get the 3rd. Last player is going to be pushed up all the way towards that water street. Is Temp going to be able to spot him? He's going to drop. So Vance is in a great position to just keep the players from the Thieves off this point. You see all the Ultra players deciding not to wrap back, to hit straight through middle map. They have control of Kitchen right now. Who's going to decide to go for the first engagement? It's going to be Cammy. He's going to slide right out of Tiki, able to take down 1. Now here comes the team shots coming in from his teammates. Insight with 2 is going to shut down that push from the Thieves. Job well done right there out of the Ultra. You see Temp in a great position in Kitchen. He's going to drop as well. That's going to be 4 down. So now the Ultra have the time now to get fully set up once again. Let's see if they change it up a little bit this time. Not have 2 people towards that bedroom and try to focus towards the backside. But there's only one player in that position who's going to be Cleanx. His life is so huge in this money window area. He's just trying to hold. You see that player number 3 going to spawn right behind the players from the Thieves. Inside was able to take down TJ. Here comes the help from Cleanx, able to come behind the second. Inside and Cleanx, great teamwork out of there to shut down the second push out of the Thieves.
By no means been the cleanest of holds, but it's worked. Temp, despite that though, despite the fury of nades, is able to stay alive. So again, it's really kind of about that one player trying to be positioned back. Temp really brought down to the lowest of HP, still hanging out inside a pocket. Cammy off of spawn. Needs to try and wipe away a few players. Granted, finds TJ, but it's the nade after life that's able to take him down as well. Based off that minimap, LA sitting pretty inside of the point. A big gunfight going down through middle. And really after that, you see inside. He instantly has to change his focus. He cannot go for the pinch. He has to change up his line sight. And so far for Toronto, it's working out quite well. Cammy's able to win one, and really they start to wipe away the board. And Toronto are able to hold on again. We've got one last push. Can Thieves close it out here?
Yeah, Thieves have a 1-kill advantage. They just have to try to play TDM for a little bit and eventually work towards that point. You're going to see 2 players working around back laundry. Kenny and Slash are trying to do everything they can to take down Cammy, but Cammy's going to shut down that push. And I think that's going to be it, man. The Thieves do not have enough time to get towards that point. Temp's able to get that first kill, but the positioning out of the Ultra players are just so huge. Bans with another 2-piece off the spawn. Temp trying to do everything he can through kitchen, but the Ultra just shut down push by push by push right there to close out that defensive round. Insane teamwork right there out of Insight and Cleanx to shut down that last push. It was a great hold right there for the Ultra.
Yeah, it was kind of that one sequence, right? We're kind of in this 3 versus 3. We're talking about, hey, there's a lot of players for Thieves inside of the point, but I gotta say, really for them, I've been impressed with how easily they've been able to get control inside of top mansion. I feel like they're constantly winning those fights, at times to a fault. I feel like where they've kind of been a little bit too far away from the point, but really for Thieves, they're continuing to try to make their way through A, and that's kind of leaving that flank position open. Despite the 2 minutes of offense that they had, Toronto are able to hold on strong, but can they bring it back? In Toronto's 2 control victories, it's been 3-0s. So when they've won control, it's been dominant. This time around, it's going to be much more difficult. They have to get us to a round 5. And finding that early tick is going to be nice. Cammy there with the trade as Cleanx wipes the final one away inside of TJ. 2 players trying to make the way on the flank are LA to try to slow up what is this early gain at A. Back and forth we go. Bance, last player alive on the point.
And you see the positioning out of Kenny. He's going to be on that white van, able to spot Bance. Second tick does come in at A. He's going to drop. So now it's going to be TJ. And then 1v1 versus Cleanx, he's going to drop as well. So now this should be a free A point for the Ultra. They have a 2-kill advantage as well. You see that number 8 player who's all the way pushed up in bedroom. He's going to have a huge engagement. Here pretty soon, he's able to take down Cammy. So now that's going to give up the positioning out of Ultra. They're all going to spawn towards back right garage. They have to try to work around this backside now that the Thieves have full control of bedroom.
Exact same situation as last time. How do the Thieves hold? It's up to DJ. He's been the highlight man. Granted is able to shut down one, but it's the bait and switch. The nice teamwork coming in from the SMGs as TJ back off spawn. We'll come back to it. And really, I gotta say, when it comes down to that situation, players just spotted back and forth. Bance again, last player alive as all of his teammates from Toronto are gonna be off of the respawn. Good trades, but as long as Bance can stay alive, that would be big. And earlier on, Cleanx 26 and 18 having a phenomenal game is going to be able to have some streaks to work with. So that's without a doubt somebody that you have to watch. That artillery more than likely going to be used within the next minute. That's something that Thieves may not be prepared for, Study.
Oh, yeah, they definitely might not be before they're going to drop for the Ultra. So now it's going to force all the players from Ultra to try to either work around the backside. Cammy's going to drop going towards bedroom, trying to wrap back. TJ was able to take him down, but you see all the players from Ultra trying to push through that 8-point, trying to get around backside laundry to eventually set up the pinch. You see that number 1 player still in art. Here comes the ping to give all that information towards his teammates. He's actually going to use it, but 2 are going to drop for the Ultra. It's not going to be a really good push for them. Cleanx able to open up with a big kill on the Kenny. You see the players, the positioning out of Ultra. 3 are going to drop. That's going to spawn all the players from LA Thieves towards back laundry. Kills are going back in their favor. But a couple players from the Thieves are going to spawn basketball court. They still have one shot to try to stop this. CleanX is in position to try to play spoiler, trying to take down Slasher. Slasher's on a 5 spree. 2 are going to drop for the Ultra. Vance able to take down 1. There's only going to be 2 players in a position to try to stop this. Cammy able to open number 1, and they are on the point.
They're on the point. Trying to stay up. Temp. As long as he's over in that money window, he's actually going to transfer. He's going to go over toward the water stairs. Inside, he's not prepared for it. Some early shots. Nice teamwork on to 1. Last few players alive, and there's no respawns. 1 life remaining is going to be for Vance, but he's not going to be near the point, and the Thieves will lock this one up, winning it 3-1. And I think, at least when it comes down to this final round study, it comes in when they use the artillery. I feel like in that moment, whenever you're able to kind of at least mimic the spawns, granted, you drop 2 players as soon as you call in the artillery, but they're able to know that that back laundry spawn is going to be there. Nobody rushed onto the point. Like, there was no teammate support to get into the point off of that streak. And that really really at the very end comes in to bite it, because you're down in time. You're trying to face off against 2 enemies, the Thieves, as well as the time left in the game. And the control woes, they only continue, and they only continue on raid as well.
Yeah, obviously that last round, if they didn't drop when he calls in that artillery strike, it's probably a better situation for them, but 2 players drop from the Ultra, so it slows down the push right there. But let's just back it up a couple rounds. Let's remember that their very first defense, where they were fully set up, they had 2 players in bedroom, but then the Thieves, just great teamwork, man. Working through that kitchen area, winning those gunfights, then eventually pitching the players from basketball, and eventually having 3 players set up on that point, killing all the players out of bedroom. That was the round that really solidified it for me, for the Thieves, man. They were able to just execute that play. Great round, great map right there to put them up in the series now.
Yeah, and props to the SMGs. Right now, we've been giving a lot of love to, like, hey, Insight's going to now be here with the Craig, or at least with the main AR. On the other side for Thieves, like, we got the role change, but it's really kind of been TJ and CleanX in that last game so far for Thieves. TJ putting on a fantastic performance right now for the roster. But Toronto, your home team, they're trying to stay alive as they'll look to try to make the comeback. Up next on this Hardpoint on Checkmate. We'll be right back.
Running it up, I got plenty bands, I'm thumbing it, Do what you can, you could try, you can't stop it. OC dub, way up like a rocket. Acting up, acting out, way out of pocket. For the grind, for the hustle, I can't knock it. Do what it take, do what you do, you could try. I've been up, I've been stuck up in the sky. Know me at the top, I can't lie. Haters watch it, throw the piece, tell them bye. I got things to do, I got bands to get. Competition up in smoke, ooh, cannabis. Ask me why I'm a top 10 candidate. I'm so fly, I'm so clean, ooh, and I'm rich. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got penny bands, I'm thumbing it, Tell them move, get up out the way. It's ludicrous, how much I'm getting paid. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10K. No mob ties for the player being made. Now how you spoke to your girl, better check her phone. And do you know what she doing when you not at home? And when she tell you she alone, but she not alone. She got a lot of options, eeny, miny, mo. She gon' do what she want, ain't no stopping it all. Hold a liquor in the cup, I'm topping it off. I might take your girl, take a trip to the mall. Put the shelf in the bag,
Hi friends, welcome back to the Toronto Home Series. It is Stage 2, Day 2, and now we're looking at our Game 4 hardpoint. Thieves finding themselves up 2-1 versus the home team. And really when we talk about one player to look out for, we talked about at the start of the series, the X factor, especially in the respawns, it's Donnie Temp.
Yeah, it's Donnie Temp from top to bottom, man. You see him in Stage 1, all those stats on the left are from wins, all of them from the right are for the losses. It's pretty consistent in those losses when he's not performing, but him switching to that new role in the flex, hopefully a lot of these stats are able to be on the upward in Stage 2. Temp is a phenomenal player. We saw him that last map, making some plays for his team around that kitchen area with that QBZ. Temp's just a player that can do it all, man, and if he's able to do it for this team, obviously Kenny looks a lot more comfortable with that submachine gun, just playing at the pace that TJ plays at, and hopefully this can be the start of a start for a dominant team if Donnie Temp can really step up in that flex role.
Yeah, man, I feel like too, like when we talk about this next checkmate hardpoint, like, you know, we obviously talk about, you know, ARs majority of the time, but that QBZ, it's nice, right? You're talking about, okay, I'm going to go from a 74 to QBZ. Oh, I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to be too mad about that, but always great to see in regards to Temp. Great to see him obviously playing well, but in regards to that Game 1 hardpoint, in which it was the Thieves taking it, Slasher, look at that, doing the objective work, minute 51, inside of the hill. Slasher's actually the #1 player in hill time per game, getting about a minute 30 on average, so it's great to see. Well, we talked about him, we know his slang prowess, how he's able to do things, but putting in the work for the objective, as a lot of main ARs tend to do from time to time. But again, that AR v-AR duel, it's going to come down a lot of the times between Slasher and Insight. Again, the rookie putting in a very difficult situation, what you're facing off against the Thieves from really, again, from top to bottom, a great looking roster, a team that is very consistent across each and every single mode. And really, whenever Insight doesn't have the greatest of games, he didn't have the top KD for the first time in this series, in that last control, the team loses. So again, you're looking at the rookie to put on a big performance. You're also looking at the rest of the team to try and bring this one back. A lot of pressure on the Toronto camp, especially early. We know the way that esports works, folks. We know the way the Call of Duty scene works. You got to try and put things up early. You got to try and perform early. We'll see if Ultra, they've got a Game 5 in the cards or not. So here we go to some good old checkmate.
Yeah, when we usually talk about a map like Checkmate, we always talk about the ARs, how they really need to be stepping up on a map like this with those long-range gunfights. But when we always talk about Toronto, it's those submachine gun players. I'm looking at CleanX and I'm looking at Vance. Just keep up that pace that they've usually been playing on. Whenever they have success in hardpoint, both those guys are sitting over a 1.0. So if they can keep up that and have the potential to force it to a map from 5, it's the best possible outcome for them. TJ and Kenny trying to get 2 kills, 2 go down. That's going to be 4 down now for the Ultra. But so far, the Ultra do have the spawns for P2. You're going to see what the Thieves are trying to do. Just trying to push straight through this hard point, trying to flip them immediately. But so far, the Ultra are doing a phenomenal hold.
And Temp really the farthest pushed up player, I was going to say, over in boxes. A lot of times you'll see kind of that early flank opportunity try to come in the massive base, rather the massive spawn that you really have when it comes down to this hill. But Thieves getting the job done early over at P1. That's going to be 3 straight in the feed. And much like you need to see from Toronto, getting that time over inside of yellow crates. Again, a hill that they have to hold considering the way that the first one went. And they can actually have a pretty nice advantage if all things go the way that they seem to be. Really, with 40 seconds on the clock, LA, not a ton of map positioning, not a ton of map control right now for them. As Temp will try to make somewhat of a play. But again, you've got so many line sights, so many different angles to try and check just before you can even get to the hill in time. And that's a nice one coming in from the Røkkr.
So right now, the Ultra, they've just been holding this P2 down to the T, man. Every kill going in their favor. It's going to spawn all the players from the LA Thieves to spawn out towards that A street. See the positioning out of Cammy. Just trying to work those flips. Trying to push up towards that wooden side, but he's going to drop. So now it's going to slow down and push from the Ultra. It's going to give the time for the Thieves to try to set up for this P3 hardpoint. Temp with that QBZ was able to take down one. He's trying to play his life at fat bed. Here comes Kenny to try to help him. But all the kills, once again, are going in favor of the Ultra. Time is actually going in favor of the Thieves right now, but he's going to drop now. So now the Ultra are going to be fully set up on this P3. You see the players from the Thieves all spawning out towards backwood. They have to try to get out of this quick because the Ultra are starting to pull away.
And they have somewhat of a nice situation going for them. Again, because of those split spawns, they now are able to come in from every single angle, and that's exactly what's going to happen inside of the feed. You got players spawning on both sides of the map. When we talk about a hill like this, I mean, what? It is open to every single angle possible in the map of Checkmate. Nice backside shots coming in from Cleanex as he'll unfortunately get taken down. But right now for Thieves, off of the rotation, they're going to be here early, but Cammy has been the rotation man, able to drop at the hands of TJ, who's now sitting on 5.
Yeah, so you see what the Thieves were able to do right there. They were able to flip those spawns. Now they're going to be nice and early setup for that P4. You see all the players from Ultra trying to work around the backside, trying to think about P5 as well. They're trying to break these spawns. Insight able to open up with the big first blood on the Kenny. TJ with the trade. Is he going to commit to the second? Insight with 2. So now it's going to spawn the players from Ultra on the backside. This is exactly what they need to do. Only thing is, the Thieves are still getting time, have the chance to fight back in this game.
Yeah, there kind of comes a point where there's like, what, a good 45 seconds on the hill, and you're like, do we want to try to engage this from the front, or do we want to try to value those spawns? You get a lot of control over inside of top lane, and the spawns is what they go for. Clearly, a smart move given the way that A Street currently seems to be going. Thieves, they're going to retake the lead, but that P5, we know how much time that you can get on it, despite how open it looks. Get the right control, especially if you got that top lane as always. You could be in a good spot, but here come the Thieves, trying to make their way through the flank. Temp, a big possible gunfight to win, but he drops as well. But if you look at the way the board kind of clears out, it's the Thieves that now retake things.
Yeah, Thieves do have the spawns for back P5. You're going to see Cammy and Insight opened up with 2. Kenny trying to take down the player in bands, but he's going to drop as well. So now you're going to see Ultra flip those spawns on their head. Temp's going to be the only player in wood he's going to drop. So now time should go in favor of the Ultra. Fully set up. They're getting all the kills. TJ unfortunately drops a team nade there on the Slasher. But the Ultra, job well done. Flipping the spawns. It came down to Cleanex with that huge 2-piece. But eventually solidified that. Here comes Kenny and Temp. 2 on the map. Kenny's trying to do everything he can. Cleanex with 2. Slasher and Temp trying to work around the front. But here comes Insight, able to take down the second. So that's remaining 20 seconds. Should go in favor of the Ultra. And this is job well done so far. Wow. They're going to spawn all these players towards back P5. Insight on a 5 spree. Trying to make it 6. 3 go down once again for the Thieves. And the Ultra are going to be fully set up for P1. They can pull off this game right now.
Yeah, and like I said, based off that P5 play, they do flip the spawn. So again, they have the advantage for P2. Literally the best case situation for Ultra. They're able to kind of hold on to things. They also flip the spawns in the process. So now they've got that P2 money hill in their hands as well. All signs currently good right now for Toronto, and Thieves, they're starting to get taken down left, right, and center. They are not getting past that 50-yard line right now.
And Insight's on a 7 spree too. He's already earned his artillery strike. Is he going to be able to earn that cruise missile as well? Gains that information that a player did throw a nade. He's going to go for the challenge on the TJ, able to take him down. Now he's fully streaked up. The young man has came to play for Toronto. 3 go down now for the Thieves. Is going to spawn all the way out towards back P5 once again. Ultra almost opening it up to a 100-point lead. They're also going to have the spawns for P2. 10 spree for Insight. Trying to make it 11. Yes, he does. Able to take down Kenny. Eventually, he's going to drop, but oh my God, he's putting on a show right now.
Cool him off. Cool him off. My goodness. Insight goes on an 11 spree. Not allowing for Thieves to even have a chance at trying to flip these spawns early. Granted, as soon as I say that, TJ, ever so sneaky, gonna try to make a play, but just based off the way that Ultra have looked up to this point, it is just not looking good, and who other than Insight to try and shut down the flank opportunity. Kenny primed and ready with the SMGs, hungry to try to get something done. Slasher's able to find 2, but it's really the team trades. They're going to come down to this fight. Cleanex able to win a big one. And on the other end, off of that push coming in from mid, it's going to be Toronto still locking up the seconds. But I tell you what, man, just can't get away from that play from Insight. Despite the way that this kind of late push is coming in from Thieves, it's nice. But hey, this is the time that you have to have. You cannot afford for this to go the opposite way. And now we're talking about P3. We're talking about the future of the way that this game sits. Thieves now on the opposite side of the map, and Bance, he's in a great position to try to cause some issues, but TJ's there to drop him.
200 points just broke for the Ultra. Only need 50 points away from closing this out and forcing a game number 5. 2 kills are going to go down. Kenny trying to stay alive. He's going to drop as well. That's going to be 3 dead. Temp's the only player from the Thieves in a position to try to cause some havoc. Just going to play his life towards that top wing. But time is once again still going in favor of the Ultra. Insight once again 25 and 12 on the rookie's debut. 3 go down once again. 4 go down for the Thieves. Oh my God, the Ultra, they are doing it, man.
This is a statement.
25 seconds remaining on this hill. This is a statement right here. They have the potential to force it to a game number 5. They can just close this out.
And obviously, it's not over yet, but I mean, just kind of given the way that things are looking right now, I know Ultra, when we talk about leads, it's not a great subject on a map like Checkmate, but hey, given the way that things are looking, just based off the way that they are playing, everybody in sync, but it's Insight and Cleanex, the old duo, forming up again, taking the Thieves to what should be a game 5. Cruise missile coming in from the skies. We're not going to find anything, but still 3 seconds left. Toronto, they say sorry, not sorry. We've got ourselves a game 5 on our hands. And again, it's the rookie going big for the team with the best play of the game.
Unbelievable performance right there out of Insight. But when you're talking about the Thieves, man, is that role change really something that's really set you guys back? We saw both players in Kenny and Temp not really have the map that they're used to having. Wondering if that was the case on that map number 4, but we're going to a map number 5. Insight, you got to be feeling really good after that performance, man. So far, he's been really stepping up, really filling the shoes of Methods on this previous roster. We got a game 5, Lando. Miami search and destroy, man. I mean, whoever takes this, man, if you're the Ultra, you're going to be feeling really good. But yeah, but if you're the Thieves, man, this needs to be the bounce back. You need to be able to close out this series.
Look at that, man. 4,800 damage from Insight. 4,600 damage coming in from Cleanex. Oh man, wonderful plays coming in from the duo again. Just cannot be understated. And really from the Thieves, that one has to hurt. Like you're kind of looking at, hey, this is our opportunity to close out the game. Looked great in the opening Garrison. Hardpoint's kind of been that mode for them. That's kind of been Mr. Consistent. And fortunately, they drop it, but I know I want to kind of revisit that game 4 again. We've been talking about the duo. We've been talking about a number of different sequences. I want to take a look actually for our USAA coverage moment, really, when we talk about the way that the plays were being made. Early on, we were talking for the Thieves side, right? Their coordination, their plays up close were excellent, but this time it's Toronto going big. Again, our USAA coverage moment coming at you. Nice, hot, and heavy. Ultra giving us a lovely game 5. Let's revisit this one again. Study, walk me through it, buddy.
Inside, he just plays this life beautifully, but the job well done out of the Ultra there. They spawn all the players to spawn out towards back V5, so all these kills for Inside at this point are just free kills. 5 kills spree currently. Him and his teammate work well on that last one, but then he also goes off the rotation to go in plane with an assault rifle and eventually goes on an 11 spree. That's just something you don't really expect, but you could just tell this guy's ready for the moment. He's excited to be in the position that he is, and he definitely came to play on that map number 4.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy. I know we've been talking about comparisons. It's just natural, right? You're filling in for a player that obviously was benched. You're going to be instantly kind of associated. A lot of the comparisons are going to be there. But in regards to the CDL, the highest kill streaks, TJ at 11, Methods at 11, and now Insight with 11. So he matches Methods, and he also happens to match a guy who sits on the other side. Highest kill streaks at 11. Insight in his debut, tying the highest kill streak in the CDL. It's impressive, man. He's literally led in KD in game 1, game 2, and game 4. The Røkkr is showing up, but now is the time to do it, especially when it comes down to a game 5. The ice, it's going to be necessary. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be a fun Miami. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back after this. everybody? Happy to have you with us. It's the Toronto Home Series home team taking on the LA Thieves. We've got ourselves a Game 5. Let's revisit our first search and destroy, and it's who other than iNsight to lead the way. Finishes off 11-6, sporting a good old 1.83 KD. I mean, what? It's the major storyline coming into this match so far, Study, but the Røkkr, he has performed in his debut.
Yeah, he definitely has, man. And every single map, too. Besides that control, he didn't really have the performance that he wanted to, but crazy bounce back on that checkmate hard point right there. I'm pretty sure he ended like 26-12, 27-13, something like that. Insane stats out of iNsight, man. Now we're going into a Game 5. Miami search and destroy. Oh, it's going to be crazy, man.
It'll be crazy.
See the Astro Social soundboard? Life comes at you fast. You see this, Lando? It comes at him fast.
It does, man. It does come at you fast. Especially when we talk about like the way that it works in Call of Duty. Like sometimes you're just called up. Like we can kind of see the same thing for somebody like Diamondcon. Like he's literally added on to NYSL Academy. Like 3 days later, oh, hey, you're in the starting lineup, by the way, for Zuma. Great player, one of the greatest of all time. You're gonna fill his shoes, by the way, and play alongside Clay. Like, okay, same thing for iNsight here. It's like, hey, you are going to kind of now fill in for Methods, who statistically is our best player. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Hey, we also have the Thieves to face off against first. Hey, you got to be prepared, man. And that's really when it comes down to the way that the rookies have kind of looked in these past few seasons. It has been about the guys who can just pick it up fast, right? Who can kind of be there early and perform early on when the pressure is at its highest. You can really see where the players start to stand aside, but there is no more pressure than a good old Game 5. We're headed to Miami. Again, when we talk about both of these teams, who's going to have the ice? The Thieves, unfortunately, were not able to grab that first search and destroy. Again, we talked about it. It was iNsight locking it up. But, Study, we actually had a cast recently with Toronto. Talk to me about that one versus Minnesota.
Yeah, so they played Minnesota on this map, game number 5. Second best team overall in search and destroy are Minnesota Røkkr, and they beat them with ease, 6-1.
Yeah.
So if you're the Ultra right here, you basically want to keep those same exact strategies. Try to just, once again, put iNsight in the position that Methods used to play, and just use the teamwork that you guys have already on this map.
Toronto on offense early.
Right off.
That's a nice nade coming in from Kenny. So he's going to have the information. Of course, it's going to be in top purple. Nobody from LAT even showing any signs there, as they'll go with a nice 2-2 spread. A lot of control over at A, but pretty lonely over at the beach. Quite a few wins, causing some issues, but the tissue drops early. That's Kenny able to drop one. Swapping from the SMG to a Krig. How does that change things? Also doing things well with the pistol. Cammy able to finally give some signs of life, but it comes down to iNsight, the 1 versus 3, and don't tell me he's going to do this. Do not tell me the rookie is going to pull off something like this.
He's a great positioning. 1v2 situation. Both players from the Thieves know that they need to push him out. Slash with some great shots. He's going to drop, but TJ eventually there for the trade. Good defensive round out of the Thieves right there. If you're the Ultra, once Bance gets on that bomb site, you got a free bomb plant down. If you're Cleanex who's sitting in that top purple, your job is to basically watch over that back alley, but not commit to it too hard. Shouldn't have been able to drop right there to Kenny to open up with that first blood. And eventually the Thieves win all the engagements after that to close out that first defense. But if you're the Ultra, just slow that down right there, let Bance plant that bomb, and just let the play come to you.
I'll be honest, man, I thought that he had it. I really did. I called it the 1 versus 3, and I was like, yeah, you know, maybe it could happen. We'll see what kind of goes down, but plays it well. That's really kind of what it takes. I know it was a common term yesterday for Miles and Chance, like all that for a drop of blood, but no, regardless, iNsight trying to make it a 1 versus 3 clutch, but the rookies had a great performance up to this point, but not able to do it there, as we'll now see what the LA Thieves have in mind in regards to their first offense. And based off the positioning, it appears to be at least somewhat of a look over at A. We'll see if they go for the full commit. But based off the positioning, it appears that would be a great move to make. Only player here is who other than the rookie.
Yeah, iNsight's going to have his hands full. Great shots onto Kenny, trying to open up the first blood. Is he going to hit the Tom Brady nade from across the map? Unfortunately, that does not connect. But if you're iNsight, your job is to just stay alive here. You're the only player in this position. If you're the Ultra players, all the information is coming in. We need to see a rotation come out a couple of these players, or at least a late flank to be pushed through. But right now, the Thieves look like they have full control to say sight, iNsight, able to reposition himself towards that back beach. Cammy able to open up the first blood onto Slasher, and that was a huge kill. Slasher was that late flanker who was watching that late pinch. Insight with 2 onto Kenny and TJ. Now it's going to be left to Temp in a 1v3.
Yeah, that's really just great play. Again, coming in from inside, able to hold them off. Able to find a pick as well. Going to leave Temp in a very awkward spot. 1 versus 3 on a map like Miami. Thankfully, he does have the Krig, but you've got to be more than perfect at this point. Dance playing around. Toronto, great teamwork, great control, and they respond back. You're in defense.
Insight, just staying alive at this A site was the play that needed to be made. Great shots onto Kenny there, and it eventually works a 2-piece onto TJ. He was the only player at that site, and he eventually dropped after there was only 1 player left for the Thieves. Job well done right there out of the Ultra on the defensive round. I was getting a little on him right there because we did not see any rotations coming in, but that big kill onto Slasher, who was watching that late flank, came in from Cammy. That gained all the information that they needed. Eventually, they set up a pinch. Insight currently 4-2 on this map, number 5. Man, he's having a performance. He's throwing on a show for the people today. Hashtag show ultra.
I love it, man. I love it. And like we said, it's just, it looks great. I know it's super early. Like, we're talking about the Ultra. Literally, it's their first series after a roster change. And, you know, we don't even know what the result of this Game 5. But if Insight can put up at least similar numbers to what he's been doing, you expect for this group to be even more difficult. You know, Toronto, a lot of roster changes last year. It was kind of the primary talking point about the team. It's like, hey, they got 10 players, and they're bringing in everybody. A lot of those roster changes actually did work out well for them, so got to give some props. But again, early in the stage, early still in this search and destroy as the rotation already being made. Cammy has been great with the picks early. Can he find another one onto Kenny? But it's Temp who's able to drop the first. So really off of that rotation, it's LAT playing well. Despite that, though, Insight as well, able to drop 1. Nice early engagement. Temp wins it again.
Yeah, Temp was going huge on this flank side of him and Kenny. Kenny playing his life the way that he did. TJ's able to open up the kill onto Insight. Now it's all left up to Cammy in a 1v3 situation. Temp, once again, 3rd kill on the round. Give him the hat trick. We've seen the positioning out of Ultra right there. They basically had 3 players towards each side. Then decided to wrap it back. But at that point, Kenny and Temp, the position that they was in, were able to just completely counter that. Forces them to try to wrap back towards A. But once again, Temp with a huge round. Wiping down 3 of the Ultra players to win that defensive round. Now puts them up 2-1.
Yeah, I feel like when we talk about a map like Miami, I mean, it's no surprise. Map's massive. Like, it's literally huge.
Yeah.
And whenever you decide that, hey, A's just not working out and you go for the rotation, the amount of time that sometimes it can take for you to go on the rotation if you don't have mid-street control, it takes you nearly half the round. And that's the issue that sometimes you run into is that, hey, A, it's not working out. Okay, well, let's go ahead and rotate back to B. By the way, that's going to take a good 30 seconds. On top of that, the enemy can gain so much control through that mid-street that you just run into a number of different problems. Really, one of the major reasons why we see attacks over at B. But hey, A again. And Temp able to make it decently far. A nice pick coming in from Slasher on the other side. So, in the meantime, Ultra, you've got both players over at the other site. The rookie left to try and maintain things over here at A. So Slasher finally out of sight, out of mind. But Cleanex, he's going to have to sprint to the other side because that bomb already planted. TJ trying to play a note over at Cammy. The nice trigger discipline to try to keep things up for the moment. Any time is good time. 2 versus 2. Again, it's the duo. Can they pull off something special? Cleanex able to see the heals. Takes down 1. Kenny, last player alive. The question is, where is he roaming? Where is he hiding? And right behind the yacht.
Someone has to get to the bomb. No one's going to be on the defuse. If you're the Ultra, you throw that one away. You had the positioning out of Kenny on that boat area, but him just playing his life that entire time was all that he needed to do. If you're Insight, you're in the position to wrap back towards that bomb. You have to leave that and basically give the gunfight to your opposing teammate. But just job well done right there out of Kenny. I thought it was going to get scary once TJHaLy dropped the Cleanex, but Insight knew exactly where he was, just wasn't able to close out that kill. Phenomenal round right there out of the Thieves to put themselves up 3-1.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I don't know if Cleanex was like sprinting to the bomb the entire time or...
He was.
Yeah, just in that situation, you know, we obviously talk about prior teammates. You know, going to have some chemistry, but regardless in a spot like that, you got to have somebody get on the bomb. Regardless, Kenny able to walk away with it. 3-1 lead for the Thieves, and You start talking early about swing rounds. This is a big one for Ultra. Can't afford to lose it, as they'll now supply the forces at B. Bance with the bomb being babysitted here over into the garage. But if they're not careful, he's going to cause some problems, but Insight there for the first blood. CleanX there trying to go for the trade. As long as Kenny's alive, it's going to make things difficult. Bance nearly stays alive. Slash to the last bullet connects, as he pretty much runs headfirst right into the van. 2v3 LAT with advantage, and TJ finding picks on the flank. Inside, he's been playing so well, but can he pull off a clutch? They line up! They line up! There's two! Can he commit the 1 versus 3? But TJ snaps on him! He was already weak. Insight near 1 versus 3, but it's TJ who gets the read, quickly turns, and grabs the defuse. What a sequence coming in from TJ.
Ah, man, TJ just made a great play, man. He went around the backside. That play only came down to TJ. If TJ loses this gunfight, the Thieves basically lose this round. He opened up with that big first blood off of a guy on a head glitch. Then an Insight, it was able to take down 2. Like you said, he was weak from that previous engagement, so TJ was able to just snap onto him and eliminate him. But without TJ right there, the Ultra able to walk away with that round. You see the Thieves now 2 rounds away from closing out this map number 5 and taking the series. Bance 0-4. This is a player we usually expect, especially in the search and destroys, to go huge for the Ultra. But a lot of it right now is on the back of Insight, 10-4. Is he going to have more in this series that he's already given?
I don't know if you can give much more than that, man. Like,
you can't.
Your 1 versus 3s, turning them into 1v1s. And I'm sure that situation hurts, right? You're thinking later on, it's like, hey, I should have just waited a little bit longer to challenge. But gotta get those things out of your head. Nice shots coming in from both sides. It's really going to be an SMG trade. 3-3 early on. TJ's getting beamed pretty far away from that back alley position. Tim's trying to clear out shop. Bance from the top side. Nobody's watching this angle.
Oh, no.
Tries to dip out, but he gets picked. He gets picked.
That's a 3v2 situation. The bomb has to go down for the Thieves. Great shots from Insight onto Temp to eliminate that bomb carrier. Here comes Cammy, trying to get the second. 20 seconds remaining. You're going to see the positioning out of TJ, trying to work up that middle map. But did Cammy read it perfectly? Here comes TJ over the wall, slashing, know exactly where one player is. Insight with a great kill. Insight once again going big for the Ultra. Give him the hat trick. 3 on the round. Keeping the Ultra alive when they need to the most. Oh, man, he's putting on an absolute show, Lando. I cannot stop saying it, man. He's going big play after play when his team needs him the most.
This is like one of the best debuts I've seen. Like, in terms of first official match, like not even just first tournament, like first map, or rather first series. He is going off right now. 13-4.
Oh, my God.
4-4 for CleanX, 2-4 for Cammy, 0-5 for Bance. Questions on whether or not Insight would be able to keep up with the team, those are out the window. It's really about, can the team keep up with Insight? 2-4, the swing round, a must win if you're Toronto. And that's just not a good sign, as Slasher and TJ able to drop 2 early. But if you're Toronto, you're saying, hey, at least Insight's alive, right? At least the rookie's still afloat.
The only thing is, the bomb is going to be down towards that Tiki, but Insight, great shots onto TJ. It's going to put him at a 4 spree. If he can try to work towards some streaks, his team can fight back in this game. Look at Cammy, trying to push up the middle of the map, trying to just gain from information. Is he going to check this corner? Number 8 was able to spot him, but he's going to get out with his life, or at least try to. Temp, unfortunately, he's going to drop there. So now it's a 2v2 situation. Bomb is still going to be down. Insight has to work towards this. But is it enough time to wrap back towards this B site? He's going to have to cut directly straight through middle map, but here comes Slasher pushing through beach. Unfortunately, he's going to turn at the wrong time, so Insight is going to be able to get towards that B site. Now, it's all left up to Kenny in this positioning at that wall. Is Kenny going to be able to get the guy off the bomb? He was able to realize that, but here comes Cammy with great shots. He's able to take him down. Now the bomb's going to be planted. Slasher left in a 1v2.
How about the shots from Cammy? Literally 1 bullet away from dropping was Insight. But it's his new teammate, was able to keep things alive from a 2 versus 4 now to a 1 versus 1. Swing round on to the rookie versus the vet. What is Slasher Vin to do? He's prepared. He knows the angles that Insight likes to be. Can he win it? But no, it's Insight coming up big. The 2v4 to keep Toronto alive. It's the swing round, and they bought themselves at least one more round to work with. But my goodness, the ice coming through from the rookie as he's sitting on 15.
He's really close to streaks, man. On a 5 spree, 15 and 4.
The highest amount of kills we've seen in Search and Destroy is 16.
Oh my. I remember back in the day, Crimsix dropped 20 in one map. Is he going to be able to break that record too?
This is insane. This is crazy. Like, what is this? And it's Kenny, by the way. Like, of all the streaks, Kenny's literally taken them away from, or rather, excuse me, Insight's taken them away from the opposing team. He's nearly broken the S&D kill record. First series, and we're in round 8. We are through 7 rounds, and he is sitting at 15 and 4.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You see what he's doing. That only player at that A site once again. Just trying to keep the players from the Thieves off of this site. Great shots on the Temp. Fortunately, he's not going to drop. Here comes Vance. Great timing on the TJ. Able to open up this first kill of the entire map. Should give some confidence to Vance. But Temp's trying to work for that bomb plant. He's stuck on this site now. Great shots coming in from Kenny to try to take down Insight. Eventually, he's going to drop. Slasher with the second. Now it's going to be a 2v2 situation. Bomb is going to be down on this A site. Slasher going huge. Kill after kill. Now it's a 2v1 situation. Kenny knows that he has to work towards this bomb plant. Here comes Slasher. CleanX able to take him down. Now it's going to be 12 seconds remaining. Slasher has to try to plant this bomb. He has to try to locate the player as well. Here comes CleanX slowly creeping up. Is he going to be able to spot Slasher? Slasher going to go for the engagement, but CleanX going huge for his team. Now we're at 4-4 in a 2v1 situation for CleanX. Round after round, these guys are fighting. They were down 4-1. That has been 3 rounds straight for the Ultra. This is an insane Game 5 so far, Lando.
This is nuts. And really, when you're in a situation, you're saying, okay, our guy is down. Insight, he's wiped off the map. It's CleanX. And I'll tell you what, man, after I saw that pick, it was like, all right, that's surely going to be it, right? You got Kenny on the site. Slasher's watching over him. But a huge 1v2 from CleanX to bring us now to a level Search and Destroy. Get all the makings of some overtime, but again, you cannot ignore the 15 and 5 from Insight. Drops in that last round. I think it's got to be his first round without a kill, surely. But regardless, we'll see what Toronto have cooked up here for this next offense. Really, the last time we talked about them going toward A, didn't really work out too well, but nice first blood coming in from Cammy clearly helps.
Yeah, first blood from Cammy. On to TJ. That's going to be huge because now that eliminates all of middle map. That's going to be an opening now that Slasher has to try to rotate to. He is going to drop. So now it's going to be a 4v2 situation. Ultra have full control of this A site, but Kenny's in a position to try to play spoiler and get him off of this A plant. Unfortunately, he's going to be at the driveway trying to put down those shots, able to take the guy off the bomb. So now it's going to be more time for the Thieves to work with. You see Cammy repositioning himself towards that boat. Temp was able to be spotted by CleanX. Here comes a nade. Unfortunately, it's not going to drop him. Another shoulder out of Temp. He knows what he needs to do. Vance is going to be one shot with that bomb. All they have to try to do is just keep the guys off the bomb plant. CleanX going huge with the kills. Now it's going to be a 2v1 situation for Kenny.
Gotta go big.
Bomb rotated B too.
It's on the rotation. Surely he's going to catch Cammy from the back. He didn't see Cammy. He didn't see him. Kenny just ran past Cammy, and the two may not see each other for the rest of the round. Oh,
I think he just got a call out. You see the positioning out of Cammy.
I think you're right. Yeah, they're starting to figure things out. So maybe Cammy hears some steps. Maybe he sees the shoulder. And how about Toronto turning things around? What started off as a 4-1 now leaves Ultra 1 round away from taking down the Thieves in a Game 5. And that best play of the round, Insight, tying the CDL kill record at 16. 16-6. First series, folks. The rookie's first ever series for the Ultra. So much pressure on his shoulders. And he is breaking records today. We'll see if he can officially grab it here in this next round. Only needs one more in the Ultra. Only need one more themselves. But here come the kills. TJ, the frenzy up top piano as the Thieves will be able to hold on to man advantage. And over here at B, they've got full site control with those 2 kills. Those were the only players that were set up. But it's Cammy and Insight. The ARs trying to go big. Trying to lock things up, but here's Temp with the early kill, and it all comes down to Insight. We've seen him in so many 1v3 situations. He brought it down to a 1v1 every time. So there's the kill record. Can he clutch out the 1v2? He's gonna reach Slasher. He's gonna reach Slasher. One more left to find, and it's gonna be on to Temp. A 1v1, 18-6 for Insight. And how about your first series? Just not able to win it. So many 1v3s, his third opportunity to clutch it out. And Temp's able to win it as we have got ourselves a round 11. Let's try to breathe, folks. Whew.
The guy has 18 kills, man. Almost pulled off an insane 1v3 to close at this map. Now we're at round number 11. You're going to have Ultra on defense. It's looking like they're going to stick to that setup that's been working for them so far. Insight's going to be playing towards this top A room. Probably going to switch towards that Crimsix. He's been hitting some phenomenal shots onto the players from the Thieves. But it's looking like there's going to be another aggressive push from the Thieves. TJ going to open up with the first blood onto Bance. They know the positioning out of CleanX. You see the players from Ultra starting to wrap back. But look at the Thieves. It's looking like they're going to take this towards that A site. And this might be able to catch the players from Ultra completely off guard, but Insight has read this perfectly. He has not given up his positioning. You see that number 1 player in Cammy as well, rotating towards that A-bomb plan as well. 45 seconds are going to be remaining. You see the Thieves just trying to work around that beach side. Insight able to spot Kenny once again. So now that's the information that the Ultra need. They're going to be going A. We need to try to pinch this out. Insight's going to be the first line of defense. Is he going to be able to get 20 kills on the map? Great shots, but 4v3 situation. Bomb has a chance to go down now.
Here comes Kenny. He knows the final boss is here. Shuts him down. Instant 2v4. Cammy shuts down Temp. And it all comes down to these two. Slasher hanging out in the corner. Cammy decides to go for the rush, and he drops. It's all on the CleanX. It's all on to the Great Dane. Can he win it? And no, the Thieves managed to hold on in round 11. A sigh of relief in the Thieves camp as they managed to hold on despite the momentum that Toronto had gained, despite all the hype around the rookie. They're able to lock things up. And they win it in an insane Game 5, Round 11.
Oh, man, those last 2 rounds out of the Thieves, they were just the aggressor. They decided to take control of top purple. We saw the first time they were Ultra were able to take down 1, but TJ traded and got 2. This time, TJ goes up there by himself, was able to open up with the first blood on the Bance, and then eventually they just worked the rotation, worked the numbers. Insight was trying to do everything that he could at that A-bomb site, but unfortunately, he dropped, and Thieves worked that bomb plan, eventually played the trades out and close out that round number 11, but holy moly, if you're the Ultra, I was thinking no Zinny, no Winnie. But with Insight, anything's possible with this guy. This guy put on an absolute performance. He almost broke the all-time Call of Duty record in Search and Destroy kills just in 1 map on his very first series of the entire CDL. Well, gotta take my hats off to Ultra, but if you're the Thieves, way to close that out, man.
Like, I know it's hilarious. I know we obviously got to highlight. We got to highlight the Thieves, right? Of course, because they win the series. But when you've got a player finishing 18-8, let alone in his first ever official match, it's hard, man. It's got to be frustrating. But my goodness, we got to revisit the Search and Destroy. What our scuff play of the game? We got to revisit this one. Oh boy, one of the many crucial rounds that the Thieves are obviously able to take. We'll obviously visit that one here in a moment. It's actually going to be round 10. Round 10, I'm being told. Round 10, scuff play of the game. And it's one of the many situations that this guy, Insight, was left in. There was 3 different sequences where he's left in a 1 versus 3. And I got to say, Study, there's one moment in particular where he gets an unbelievable read onto I think it was to Slasher. He just happens to turn around, has the, I know it's clever, right? Insight, but just the way that he was able to maneuver throughout the map, unbelievable. Of course, highlight to the Thieves, but again, a near unbelievable end from Insight here. Oh, it was 5-4 too.
Yeah, just every single kill, he read it perfectly. Once TJ pushes into that room, he knows that the players from the Thieves are pushing through that back alley. He was able to throw that shoulder there, play his life. Slasher tried to set up the pinch, but unfortunately, Temp did not get there at the right time. Thank God that Temp walks away with his life there and eventually closes out this 1v1. That's that AK-74U versus that Crimsix up close. But, oh man, you can just see it in Insight's face. He's a little disappointed, but if you're him, man, phenomenal series from top to bottom.
Oh yeah, and we talked about, like I said, the amount of pressure that was on this guy to perform, the amount of pressure that was on Ultra, this franchise, to be able to perform after dropping methods, which again, from a statistics perspective, was literally their best player in every mode. He just put on one heck of a show. I tell you what, man, in his debut, going big for the team despite the L. It's the Thieves who are able to walk away with it. But folks, there's still more awesome action to come. After this quick little commercial break, it's going to be Lottie and Nameless breaking down our first game and setting up our final match of day number 2.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listen-ins are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League.
Thieves take down Toronto Ultra in a very close Game 5, Round 11 to start off your day. Boy, what a game. Not only did we see a Game 5, but we saw a rookie in his element. Insight was absolutely incredible, all-round player. I did feel like he took a little bit of time to warm up, but boy, when he was warm, he was unstoppable. Nameless, I gotta ask you, man, how did you react really to Insight popping off there at the final part of the series?
I mean, he popped off the last 2 maps. He was incredible. I mean, in that Game 5, he had more kills than his whole team combined, like more than halfway through that game. Like, he was absolutely destroying First Blood machine on game number 2, and in game number 4, he absolutely took over. His positioning was masterful. He knows exactly what to do with an AR. Like, he is definitely a great player for this team to have in the future going forward. I think they should improve. And I still think that there's some improvement to be had on Bance's side in that search and destroy. Obviously, that was extremely lackluster. And I'm hoping he can put it together, because Bance at one point in his career was a fantastic search player. It just hasn't been like that throughout this game.
For sure, I couldn't agree more. I think, you know, in terms of insight and what he brought to the team there, he really did fill that AR role. But also we saw in that S&D picked up a sub at one point. But we got to talk about
isn't
stats.
fair.
I think that's been a big tell. I know this. Yeah, this is true. This is kind of an interesting kind of versus over here. But I do want to point out that Insight has already, in his debut, filled that spot of the top S&D KD statistics. So he has the most kills in S&D, the biggest KD ratio there, which is huge considering it's a debut there. I mean, Nameless, how much confidence must this young man have coming out of his debut? I know it was a loss, but individually, his performance, it was really shining.
Yeah, I think when he went off in that game number 4, it him all the confidence in the world. It's like, I can perform at a high level versus pros, and that's why he went off in that game 5. Like, he was teaching us new spots, he was picking up first bloods, and he was nearly clutching 1v3s. He was doing it all. That was the best debut that you can have aside from the loss. It was just a fantastic statement for him to make coming into the league.
For sure, absolutely was. Now, we got to talk about, of course, the rookies that we have had. I feel like rookies have made our season so much more exciting, and I want to do a rookie roundup because we've had plenty come our way from this season and last season, and boy, have they made the difference. And it's been very interesting to see how kind of new teams bringing on different roles and different players, and I feel like our rookies have really filled those roles very, very nicely. We've got Fire, Neptune, Insight, we got Diamondcon and PaulEhx here. PaulEhx obviously coming on to the Royal Ravens that we're going to see very shortly. But overall, these guys have been unbelievable, lights out for their teams, and really made some crucial progress, I think, throughout the season for them. I mean, Nameless, I know it's difficult because we have Insight on our mind right now, but is there a rookie that really stands out to you overall there?
I mean, they're all fantastic players. They've all had their great moments, but I am most excited for PaulEhx. There's been such a hype around this player and how he's been performing in the Challengers Cups. He's just been dominating, man. So I can't wait to watch him play with the Royal Ravens. I think he's going to bring a lot to this team because he is a true slayer. He drops bombs, so I'm most excited for him.
Absolutely. Now, of course, next we have Legion versus Røkkr. Big matchup here. You know, Paris being the team that kind of shocked everybody stage 1. Coming into stage 2, can they still bring that fire? Can they continue that momentum forward? That is the question. I mean, Nameless, looking at how Paris have been performing, the individuals on their team, and kind of the fact that they really were a roster that was chosen last minute. It felt like they were almost players that people had not forgotten but thrown together, and it works, man. It really does. How do you feel that they're going to fare against Røkkr?
I think it'll be a very tough matchup. In Search and Destroy, they've been pretty weak, and then Røkkr started to get a lot of respawn towards the end. So I think Paris will still struggle, especially going into this match stylistically. This is a bad one for them, but I'll looking to see what improvements they.
Absolutely. Now, I tell you what, we got to talk about our pick'ems because, and you know, pick'ems mean the world to a lot of us people. They mean the world to me, that's for sure. And I've got Paris taking this one for the Røkkr matchup. I am very curious to know who you've got, my friend. Are we going to be on the same page or no? Not at all.
We're going one-on-one. I got Røkkr winning this one. I think they take it in a game 5 in that Search and Destroy. I just think a stronger team right now.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to go Paris. I think that they've shown some serious cohesiveness across stage 1. I think that they can do it in stage 2. They bring a little bit of spice to it, so let's see what they can do against Røkkr. But we're going to head to a quick break right now, but when we come back, I'm going to be speaking to TJ from LA Thieves to find out exactly how this went against Ultra. What did they do to manage to take this dub over the line? It'll be a Game Fuel Victory Spotlight coming up next.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by USAA Insurance, auto, renters and home insurance that's made to help the military community protect what they've worked hard for.
Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me I have the one and only TJ from LA Thieves. Now TJ, I've got to ask you right out the gate, obviously coming up against Ultra you guys were faced with a rookie, somebody brand new coming into a match against you, and it was his debut in this game. So I want to know, did you guys set up things a little bit differently versus Ultra? Were you guys trying to adjust mid-game considering how crazy he kind of came out in the last 2 games of the series? What did you guys do there?
No, we didn't really adjust for him specifically, but we were just playing our game. We played them in the last major, so we kind of knew how they played a little bit in like the searches. So we were just playing our game and ended up clutching up in the end.
You did indeed. You did a phenomenal job, may I add. Now, obviously, I've noticed Kenny in the sub role again. You guys seem to have a really good team dynamic on screen, and from what's coming across, how are the vibes for you guys right now as a whole team?
The vibes are solid right now. You know, coming off that win, we're feeling good. Gonna try to carry that momentum into our next couple of series, and hopefully we can get more wins.
Love it. Now, the major didn't quite go to plan for all of you, and I'm sure that you have, you know, plenty to work on as a team. Even when you're doing really well, I'm sure you have lots to work on. But, you know, the match against LAG really set the tone there for you guys. So what have you done coming out of that? How have you prepared for stage 2?
We're just kind of really trying to work on our fundamentals right now. That's probably our biggest problem, and then just keep playing, keep going as a team, and just getting better as a team every single day. We just got to work on that and our teamwork, and we should be good down the long run.
Fantastic. TJ, loving what I'm seeing, loving what I'm hearing, and thank you so much. Congratulations and best of luck for stage 2, my dude.
Thank you, Lottie.
Well, there you go, guys. We're going to head to a quick break right now, but when we come back, we have plenty more Call of Duty action coming your way. Get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, whatever it is you fancy, a snack, get a meal in, get hydrated, because boy, you're not going to want to miss what we got coming your way up next.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
50 pulled up with the cups and the cake. Count a few bucks when the money inflates. I ain't in a rush till we did it my way. But there's money right here, so you better not trip. Oh, yeah. Shawty don't trip, yeah. Shawty don't trip, check. Shawty don't, ayy, yeah. Shawty don't trip, yeah. Shawty don't trip.